Chapter 13. Now. I'm trying hard to think of what I could be writing for this month's song prompt. The assignment is to write a fun summer anthem because that's what agencies are going to be looking for. I was never the type to write happy-go-lucky, upbeat songs. Whatever I write usually comes more in the form of a ballad or some sort of love song. I can't help myself. Growing into my adult self as a teenager, I used to listen to Dido and Sarah McLachlan on repeat. I just felt like they got me. But this is different. I'm in this course to learn how to write songs for TV shows, movies, or commercials, and it's all about meeting a demand, writing for what's needed, and staying up to date with what is currently being licensed. I put about 10 songs in a Spotify playlist to inspire me, but simply can't come up with anything hot, sunny, fun, summer-related. My mind is too immersed in lovey-dovey feelings and thoughts about Nick, who will come over to my place today. I'm nervous but excited to see him again. My living situation isn't perfect and doesn't show that I have it fully together. I'm worried what he will think about me once he's been here in my small room and the non-adult living space that's hardly comparable to the house by the ocean he lives in. He does have a roommate too, yes, but I still feel like I'm living a student life when it comes to my housing and financial situation. But hey, this is LA after all, and as a non-immigrant, my options of what or where I can work are limited as well. This just really has been off to a good start, and I don't want to jeopardize it by not being good enough for this great, hot man who happens to work for the government. We had texted back and forth this whole week, deciding when to meet and what to do, with Nick recovering from a slight cold. We decided we were just going to hang out at my place and take things easy. I had also sent him a recording of me singing a Sarah Bareilles song that he mentioned he liked. I'm a good singer, but I'm usually shy to sing in front of people or send things, but I knew he'd like it, and I thought it would be a sweet gesture for a sweet guy. He immediately called after I sent the recording. I couldn't answer because I was in a lesson, but he left a voicemail. Kathrin, that is one of the coolest messages I have ever received. I just got out of the office and I'm heading back home. I'm probably going to play that the whole way home, the whole way through. I can't even talk, but that was so cool. But give me a call when you get a chance. That was really cool. And honestly, I want more. Like, I'm trying to get the whole song. You sound awesome. You sound amazing. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I just had to grin when I listened to his message. And so I listened to it a second time and a third time. Singing hasn't been that much fun for me in a long time. Nobody has reacted like that to my singing in I don't know how long. Especially here in LA, great singers seem to be on every corner. It's nothing special anymore. I love singing, and I do it well, but I don't think I stick out anymore. The way he got so excited about it brought back my own excitement, and honestly, I want to send him more recordings now. Then he texts, "Good morning. I've got a proposition for you." Let's hear it. I'm going to call you in 25 to 30 minutes. I wonder what that proposition is about. Is he about to mix up our plan again and change it? I was excited about today. So hear me out, he says once we're on the phone. Since I'm still not feeling back to 100%, I was wondering if you could come down here one more time. And I know I already mentioned the MMA fights are on. We can grab pizza and maybe watch that, and then next time I will definitely come up your way. He did mention those MMA fights before, but he previously said he'd survive without watching them. Again, I feel somewhat unimportant. Even though he asked me if all of this is okay with me, and he didn't just change the plans without first confirming with me, it still makes me feel like I'm already an option to him and not somebody he's trying to win over anymore. Did we have sex too soon? I should have not given him everything he wanted so soon and been so available right away. Men like a good chase. If it's too easy, it's not interesting anymore. But I want to see him. I already planned on seeing him today. I deep cleaned my room, making sure it's somewhat presentable, and already shaved almost all of my body hair. What is my option now? Say, no, I don't want to come down there, see you later? Fine, okay, but then you do owe me for me driving down there again, last minute, and watching sports with you. Yes, okay, I owe you. When do you want me to be there? Like around 2? That way we have some time to sit outside and talk for a bit, and we can grab the pizza before the main fight, during the break. Oh Lord, the main fight? How many fights are we about to watch? How much do I like this man to willingly watch sports and drive all the way down to San Pedro again for a casual, hanging out at home date? A lot, probably. Quite a bit. Okay, I'll text you when I leave. Once more, I roll down my window as I arrive at the little guardhouse at the entrance of the military housing community. As we both pull up to his house and park our cars, Nick comes out of the garage to take the 2 bags I brought with me. I already texted him 10 minutes ago saying I urgently needed to use his bathroom, and so he clears the way for me. I use the downstairs bathroom and decide to remove my panty liner. You never know what is going to happen when. We already made that first step, and now things could happen at any moment. He also doesn't seem to be under the weather too much anymore, despite his request for me to come down here so he can recover a little more. As I open a little trash can to throw my female waste wrapped up in toilet paper, I see something that looks like it couldn't possibly be a man's trash. It looks like some sort of beauty packaging. My chest starts to clench just a bit, but then I tell myself that this could be from before Nick knew me. I haven't even known him for more than 2 weeks. Also, this is the guest bathroom, and who knows how often they actually empty this trash can. Furthermore, he does have a roommate who might have female company once in a while, who throws away beauty product packaging. I take my foot off the lever and let the trash can close, and with that, my wondering and worried mind also comes to a halt. Nick asks me if I want to sit on the patio for a bit, to talk before the fights start. He opens the sliding door that leads from the living room to the garden and patio area, and the most beautiful view greets me. The ocean is right there in front of us, with Catalina Island clearly visible in the not-so-distant background. I envy you so much for this place. You got really lucky, I sigh. I know, I love it here. We did get lucky, thanks to Mark. He used to be in the military and knew someone here. I'm pretty sure this is also cheaper than normal LA housing. Not fair. I playfully punch him in the arm. His very firm arm. He unfolds 2 camping chairs and puts them next to each other, facing the ocean. So, is this weird coming down here to San Pedro? I mean, with your ex and everything, he inquires. Last time I was here, I told him just a few things about Eddie and how things went, but I felt like it was too soon to go into too much detail. But he's considerate. I am surprised he brought it up. I say, I did think about that too, if it would be weird to come down here again, but honestly, this isn't even the same area of San Pedro he used to live in, and it's also been a while, so it's not weird. And I love the area. I'm glad I'm here. I put my hand on his forearm as I say this. He looks at me and smiles. More so with his eyes than with his mouth. I'm also glad you're here. Thanks for coming down here again. I don't like to keep tabs on things, but I do want to come up to Pasadena as well, and I will. It's all good now. We sit for a while longer and talk about some rather trivial things and some stories I share, but nothing really life-revealing is coming from his side. The talk is over much too fast. I'm enjoying him. Time flies. Before I know it, he says, "Let's head in. The first fight is about to start." He picks me up and throws me over his shoulder, carries me into the living room, and then slowly lets me back down and kisses me. Safely back on the ground, I confess. You know, this is kind of my weakness. What is? I love to be picked up, carried around, and that kind of stuff. Oh yeah? He smiles. I don't know if there is anything that turns me on more than a strong man who can lift me up without an effort. Maybe kisses on the neck, but that's not relevant right now. He picks me up again. This time not over his shoulder, but in a way that I can wrap my legs around his body, and then he starts kissing me as he holds me there. He walks into the kitchen with me, his hands supporting my butt and thighs, and then he squats down. We are still kissing while I'm now sitting on his thighs, and I'm equally impressed as I'm turned on. Without trying to sound cliché, I feel like I'm in a dream. Who is this man, and where has he been all my life? In Georgia, I know, that's where he grew up, but I mean, I have no words. As we settle on the couch, I have no idea what we are watching. But at least Nick doesn't exclude me. He explains exactly how it works, in between his loud exclamations and conversations with the TV. MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. I didn't even know that much. He comments, so he just called a foul because you're not allowed to hit the other person on the back of the head. These are the lightweight fights right now. The main fight is going to be the last one. We can get our pizzas right before that one. I'm learning something new again, and while I was afraid that I was just going to sit on the couch while Nick gets sucked up in these fights, this is not the case at all. We are cuddled up under a blanket together, with me sitting between his legs or laying on him for the most part, and the way he reacts to the fighters makes me laugh more than just a few times. I might not be a fan of this sport, but I think I could watch him watch this for quite some time, especially when we're cuddled up like this. In one of the breaks, he starts giving me small kisses. It's playful at first, but then we can't stop. He puts his hands around my face, and before we know it, we're kissing like we've known each other for a lifetime, but haven't seen each other in forever. My heart is beating fast, and all needs for anything else just fly away from me. Eventually, we manage to pull ourselves apart and stop. Finally, the main fight is on, and we are readily sitting up with our pizzas on 2 folding tables in front of us. The 2 main fighters are introduced. Dillashaw versus Cejudo, the TV channel announces. Both fighters jump on the spot before the first round begins. After just about 30 seconds, Cejudo beats Dillashaw in a knockout, and while his opponent is lying on the floor, cowered up, he jumps up on the railing and beats his chest with his boxing gloves, triumphantly. I look at Nick for an explanation of what just happened, but he stares at the TV, unbelieving. What? He half laughs, half screams. So what now? I prompt. Nothing. It's over. He won. That was a knockout. Wow. So that was the big moment we waited for today. Even the commentators on TV seem to be surprised about what happened and are calling it one of the shortest fights in UFC history. Oh well. Now Nick can focus on me, but as soon as we finish our pizzas, he starts watching the replay of everything we just watched live already. Really? You're watching the summary of all the things we just watched? Yeah, I just want to hear what they have to say. See the highlights, you know? And we did miss a fight when we picked up the pizzas. He's serious about this, but not condescending to me. I don't even know how else to respond. All of a sudden, he gets up and holds out his hand towards me. What? I ask. Come here. He pulls me up and we stand face to face, belly to belly. Step on my feet, he commands. Really? Yes, come on. I giggle and step my little feet on his size 13 ones. We used to do this with my dad, I remember. Let's do a little slow dance, Nick suggests, and then he starts singing. When you watched Cinderella, you wished that it was you, and then you asked your mama, do fairy tales come true? As he sings, he's slowly making a step in circles, clumsily dancing. It's been so long since I've done this. I have to giggle. This is so sweet. And yet, his uneven pitch and dedication to this impromptu romantic action make me laugh. He keeps going. You love romantic stories and you cry time and again when Ali and Noah see each other and are kissing in the rain. And then he raises his voice and sings the pre-chorus to this song that I never heard before. I know it feels like it's hopeless. You've been lonely for so long. I'm full on laughing now, leaning my weight into him, not prepared for the big chorus. Let me be there for you. I can be your man. Love you with all that I have. If you give me your hand, my heart is yours to keep. You're all that I need, and everything to you is what I want to be. Please let me show you that love can be true. I'm not sure if he's just enjoying himself or if this is a message to me through a song, but more than anything, I'm amused. Hey, that was not bad, I say as he stops. Oh yeah? He proudly smiles. You know, I love my old school R&B. Well, thank you for the dance. I'm still smiling. We sit back down, and shortly after, he falls asleep on the couch, which is cute, but also disappointing. He must still be a little sick after all. Eventually, I manage to convince him that we should go to bed. We make love, this time without the candles, and without the sexy rhythm and blues. Then he turns off his lamp next to the bed and immediately falls into his next slumber. As I return from my routine after-sex bathroom visit, it seems that he is fast asleep. Nick? Did you just decide we're going to sleep now, without even saying goodnight? He doesn't seem to fully react, but says, just give me a few minutes, just 5 minutes. It doesn't sound like 5 minutes will bring him back, though. It sounds like the opposite. The day is over. A few more times I remind him that the 5 minutes are up, that I'm not ready to go to sleep yet, that it's not even that late yet, but he gives me the same answer every time. Just 2 minutes, I'm not sleeping. Eventually I give up. I turn over to my side of his bed towards the window and can't help but feel stupid. How was this time so different from last? Did he get all he wanted? And is the time of him making an effort and pursuing me over now? It all started out so good, and now it's turning into what it was with all the other guys I've dated over the years. Everybody pretending to care, but then treating you like a disposable object. For a minute, I try to sleep, but the tightness in my chest won't allow that. I've gone through too much to allow myself to stay in this situation. I'm trying to make him realize how I'm feeling with my heavy sighs shifting around constantly, but he's happily in dreamland. I can't allow a situation like this again. I agreed to drive all the way down here, again, a 45-minute drive. I watched a sport with him all afternoon and evening that I had no interest in whatsoever, and let him substitute that for a real date. I had sex with him, and he didn't insist on satisfying me. And now I'm laying here, used like the condom he just pulled off. I hate to pop my dream bubble, but I have to leave. He's not what I thought he was. I start putting my clothes back on and pack my bag. I don't do it super quietly. I want him to hear me. I want him to stop me. When none of that wakes him up, I speak. Hey, Nick, I'm leaving now. He finally wakes up, sleep drunk. Oh, okay. That hurt even more. He doesn't seem to care. Do you want me to leave? I ask. I clearly don't want to leave, or I would long be gone. The good thing is I don't need him to escort me out of his fancy military block. Leaving is allowed. Do you want to leave? He asks in return. No, I don't want to leave. Then why are you leaving? You just decided to go to bed. You didn't even say goodnight. You just turned off all the lights and you were gone. And I've been in too many situations where I was ignored. I came down here for you today, and I was hoping we could talk a bit more, but now I just feel stupid. And then he does something I didn't expect. He says, come here. And for a second, I think he just wants me to shut up and he'd fall asleep again with me in his arms. But he sits up and hugs me. He doesn't get mad. My anxiety level is pretty high right now. I look into his face and see one of his eyes drooping down. He's having a really hard time keeping it open. The other one is doing all right. He had turned the lights back on. It's okay, I say. You're super tired. Just sleep. No, we are staying up now and we'll talk. Look at you. You can hardly keep your eyes open. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm catching a second wind right now, he slurs. Again, his right eyelid falls shut, and I can't help but giggle. Okay then, tell me something about you, I request. So when I was 5, he starts. I was adopted. My mother was an alcoholic and she died when I was a teenager. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. I really didn't expect this, not from him, not at this time of night, not casually told like this. Your turn, he says. I really don't know what to say now. What do you want to know about me? Anything. And as I begin to tell him about my family, both of his eyelids fall shut again, and this time I let him sleep.